Is it 12:05? Okay.
All right, well, welcome to the wedding. Obviously, this was not the wedding we planned, and I'm gonna just put Brian move over. So what you're gonna see, Brian and I are the only two people in the house. Our officiant, Hannah Nilsson Jones, you can see between us, and you'll see other speakers as they talk. We had planned a beautiful, small outdoor wedding at a local nature center called Wood End, owned by the Audubon Society. And of course, as our state began to shut down and the reality of the coronavirus became more clear, it became obvious to us that we could not continue with an in-person wedding. And we were really determined to try and preserve this date if we could, and we began to talk about a virtual wedding. And as we really talked about what was important to us, what was really important to us was not all the trappings of a wedding, but really being here with family and friends to have people witness the event and be part of this with us. And so, yes, I'd like to have that first dance with Brian that we planned. And yes, I'd like to do some of the things at the wedding that we had envisioned. But I think the most meaningful thing is that we're here, you're here watching, and you're here supporting us. Brian?
Yeah, so on our path to this day, what was going to originally happen was Hannah was going to be here and marry us, of course, but she's in Puerto Rico and is smartly staying put. So she contacted another officiant who's in the state of Maryland, and the plan was that lady was going to come marry us in the driveway this morning, right before the ceremony, and make it official and with proper distancing and all that. But as the restrictions got more clamped down, we weren't sure what was going to happen. And she lives some distance away and had some concerns about coming over too. So plan B didn't quite work out, so we moved on to plan C. So we ended up finding an officiant very local to us right here. And we actually got our marriage certificate ceremony April 1st. So we already took care of that, but it was really important for us to have a ceremony with you all.
And so the legal part of the wedding is done. But this really is the wedding we envisioned. We took our original script, we modified it a little bit for the unique circumstances, but we're here and we're really grateful that you're here with us to bear witness to our wedding.
Oh yeah.
So with that, Hannah, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you. Welcome everyone, welcome. So we've all made our way to our laptops, our smartphones, our iPads on this delightful spring morning to celebrate the union of Harry and Brian. My name is Hannah Nilsson Jones. I'm honored to be leading this ceremony today. We would like to gather without distraction or interruption, which I know is not always easy. So please, even though you're all in your own spaces, find a quiet place in your homes to be a part of this ceremony and make sure that your phones are on silent so that we can gather. This ceremony, as you know, is being streamed through YouTube Live. We cannot see or hear you, but we know that you are out there. Following the ceremony, there will be a cake cutting and a champagne toast. After the cake cutting and the champagne, we will invite you to join us in a virtual receiving line on Zoom. I'll give you further instructions for the Zoom portion of today's wedding at the end of the ceremony. So on behalf of Brian and Harry, I welcome you. Harry and Brian are both so happy to be surrounded virtually by all of you. As they take this step forward together, they each look back at the people leading them here. Along those paths, each person present played a role by supporting them, offering them friendship, comfort, and love. They are grateful to be able to share this occasion with you, and they are honored by the gift of your presence. In Harry's words, we hope for our community to embrace, support, and love our love for each other. And as we consider presence, however, it is only natural that we consider absence and feel particularly mindful of loved ones who are not with us now. We honor those who have passed away. Brian's mother, Linda, Harry's grandmother, Celia, and his aunt, Shirley, all of whom we know would have loved to celebrate with us today. And we think of Richard Lee, Brian's father, who passed away just a few weeks ago, and Mama Lois, Brian's stepmother, watching from home. We think of Richard Fox, Harry's father, who passed away this past February, and Harry's mother, Geraldine, also watching from home. The novel coronavirus has upended our lives and the lives of people all around the world. So at this moment, let us set aside our day-to-day cares and concerns. We have all come together today to share and witness a transformation that is at once ordinary, a wedding, and unique, Brian and Harry's wedding. So let us invite the sacred and the joyous into this beautiful collective space we are creating, full of the gratitude, respect, compassion, and tenderness that we have for Brian and Harry and for each other.
So we wanted to begin today with my wonderful niece, Ellie Fox. Ellie was a flower girl for the wedding. We promised her a beautiful bouquet. We promised her a band of flowers around her hair. That's not going to happen. But we did want to honor her and make sure she was part of the ceremony today. So we invited her to write something for the wedding. So Ellie, if you'd like to go ahead.
Dear Uncle Harry and almost Uncle Brian, I love you so, so much. Work so hard on this for everyone. Thank you all for coming, well, online. To almost Uncle Brian and Uncle Harry, you are the best. This is your special day. You should be able to say and do whatever you want.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ellie.
Thanks.
Hear me?
Yep.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Thank you for that special and heartfelt message. So in his play, Finding Home, the author Welly Yang wrote, "We are all a culmination of the people that came before us, and we're here to finish the dreams that they left unfinished." As Harry and Brian join their lives today, they are grateful for the dreamers that came before them. Among them, the untold generations of LGBTQ+ people who loved and committed themselves to each other without the benefits that accompany state-sanctioned marriage. We acknowledge this history with a deep appreciation and an awareness that the struggle towards full civil rights for all people continues not only here in this country, but across the world. Brian and Harry, your paths towards finding each other, leading to this day, were long and winding, but you are here now. We are together to witness and honor this union, the beginning of the next phase of your lives. In the words of Sarah Ritchie, it is a rare gift from the universe when a chance meeting leads to a lasting friendship, and an even greater blessing when that introduction blossoms into romance. And we are here today not only because of that rare gift, but also because Brian and Harry actively chose to continue exploring the connection that they have, nurturing it and letting it grow. In Harry's words, richer and deeper over time. Of their first date out to dinner, Brian remembers, Cupid shot a bunch of arrows that night. And Harry said, "Sparks seem to fly between us. We have been together essentially since then. And this togetherness has remained steadfast through some very difficult and challenging experiences." As Harry put it, "Through it all, I felt that there was something so fundamentally right about our relationship. I saw my future with Brian. I wanted my past and future life to come together. And that was able to happen, Harry and Brian, due to the compassion, the generosity, and the communication between you. So I'd now like to invite Tom Workman to share our first reading. Tom appropriately was the person that introduced Harry at a restaurant appropriately named That's Amore. So take it away, Tom.
Thank you, and I'm so honored to be able to be here and hear this, both of you, my dear friends. This reading is from Justice Anthony Kennedy's majority opinion in Hodges versus Zbergefell, the Supreme Court case that made marriage equality the law of the land. No union is more profound than marriage, for it embodies the highest ideals of love, fidelity, devotion, sacrifice, and family. In forming a marital union, two people become something greater than once they were. As some of the petitioners in these cases demonstrate, marriage embodies a love that may endure even past death. You would misunderstand these men and women to say they disrespect the idea of marriage. Their plea is that they do respect it so deeply that they seek to find its fulfillment for themselves. Their hope is not to be condemned to live in loneliness, excluded from one of civilization's oldest institutions. They ask for equal dignity in the eyes of the law, and the Constitution grants them that right.
Thank you, Tom, for sharing such a powerful reading. So as we planned the ceremony, both Brian and Harry spoke with me about the ways that they felt this relationship had brought them into a fuller, more authentic understanding of themselves, something greater than they once were, as we just heard. Harry mentioned, Brian has changed me. I am more myself today than at any point in my adult life. Brian told me, although I didn't feel a lack before I met Harry, life has become fuller of new possibilities with him. Harry remembers, in the early days of our relationship, I was giddy with excitement. I felt, how did I get so lucky? We had immediate chemistry. Our conversations are interesting. I never have tired of talking with him. He loves Brian's humor, down-to-earth common sense, passion for music, his smile, and his gentleness, among many other things. And for his part, Brian told me, I love that Harry is a Renaissance man, interested and active in arts, science, business, and cooking, among other things. He treasures Harry's support, sense of humor, and kindness. They both shared with me the sense that the ceremony today is the beginning of a path that they will walk together, hand in hand, as they continue to navigate life's joys and challenges. And I think that we can all agree that we've witnessed just in the past few months some of the ways that they support each other on this path, as they were able to compassionately re-envision the way this ceremony was to take place in the midst of so many changes on a global and on a personal scale. So now I'd like to introduce Jennifer Fox, Harry's sister, to read a poem whose words truly and concisely center us in the powerful emotion of this ceremony, joy. Over to you, Jennifer.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited for my dear older brother, Harry, to have found his beloved mate. I'm reading a poem by Mary Oliver entitled Don't Hesitate. I love this poem. If you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy, don't hesitate. Give into it. There are plenty of lives and whole towns destroyed or about to be. We are not wise and not often very kind, and much can never be redeemed. Still, life has some possibility left. Perhaps this is its way of fighting back, that sometimes something happens better than all the riches or power in the world. It could be anything, but very likely you notice it in the instant when love begins. Anyway, that's often the case. Anyway, whatever it is, don't be afraid of its plenty. Joy is not made to be a crumb.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
What vital and important reminders in those phrases. As we spoke about the wedding and their relationship, Brian said to me, with this partnership, we get perspective on each other's questions and desires. It is beneficial and comforting to have a dependable, loving someone to share, debate, and experience with. Harry told me, I think taking care of each other and supporting each other is at the core of our relationship and who we are. There is a level of goodwill and kindness between us that seems rare in our world, but which keeps us strong and mentally healthy. The Spanish poet Antonio Machado reminds us, traveler, there is no road. You make your own path as you walk. Brian and Harry, you have been making this road together for over 5 years, and today you turn another corner as you walk forward into your married future together. You have asked your community to observe you in this moment of vulnerability, to surround you with their love and support as you begin this new adventure together, continuing to make the road with love and joy at its very center. So now, as befits a wedding, we've heard a lot about the idea and the practice of love and devotion and commitment. And it's time now for Brian and Harry to share their own words on this subject. Harry and Brian have written their vows, and they will read them to each other now, with you, their loving community, bearing witness. These vows are essential not only because Harry and Brian have created them for each other to hear, but also because they wish for you, their family and friends, to share this moment and their mutual commitment to each other. As Harry said to me, I wanted this wedding before family and friends because I wanted to be surrounded by our community as I expressed my love for Brian, my commitment to him, and our future life together. So Brian and Harry, you can now share your vows. Please join hands if you are not doing so already.
Brian, in the presence of family and friends, I take you to be my partner in life. I will cherish our union and love you more each day than I did the day before. I will trust you and respect you and laugh with you and cry with you, loving you through good times and bad. Regardless of the obstacles that we might face together, I give you my hand, my heart, and my love from this day forward, as long as we both shall live.
Harry, in the presence of our family and friends, I vow to be your partner in sickness and in health, in good times and bad, joy and sorrow. I promise to love you unconditionally, to support you in your goals, to honor and respect you, to laugh and cry with you, and to cherish you for as long as we shall live.
Thank you both. Thank you both for sharing those sincere and meaningful promises. Now, you have also chosen to exchange rings today as a seal on those vows. These rings are circles you will wear. The circle is a sacred symbol in many cultures, embodying the dualities of the visible and the hidden, the simple and the profound, the empty and the full, the individual and the community. These rings are an outward sign of the inward bond that unites your hearts and lives in partnership. So Harry, you'll go first. Please place the ring on Brian's finger and repeat after me. Brian, I give you this ring as a visible and constant symbol.
Brian, I give you this ring as a visible and constant symbol
Of our love and our marriage.
of our love and our marriage,
For the world to see and bear witness.
for the world to see and bear witness,
For today and tomorrow.
for today and tomorrow,
And for the days of our life to come.
and for the days of our life to come.
Thank you. Now, Brian, it's your turn. Please place the ring on Harry's finger and repeat after me. Harry, I give you this ring
Harry, I give you this ring
as a symbol of all that we have promised
as a symbol of all that we have promised
and all that we shall share.
and all that we shall share.
This ring reminds us and the world
This ring reminds us and the world
that we are stronger together.
that we are stronger together.
This love, freely given, has no beginning and no end, no giver and no receiver, for each is the giver and the receiver. May your rings always remind you of this moment as you give in the joy present, as you give into the joy present, not only in this room that you are sharing physically, but also the joy that is present in so many rooms across the globe as we gather virtually to celebrate with you. So now, as best man, Harry's son Benjamin has written something to celebrate this union. So Ben, please begin.
Dad, you were the one who introduced me to Broadway when I was a child. You played me the soundtracks of Avenue Q and Wicked in your car, probably long before it was appropriate for me to even listen to them. And even though I didn't understand the innuendos and the double entendres, I loved them all the same. It's part of the reason why I got into storytelling today. And thinking about Broadway reminds me of its most famous saying, which is not break a leg, but the show must go on. And when a worldwide pandemic threatened your wedding day, you and Brian could have easily postponed until Corona was, once again, just a poorly tasting brand of beer. But from the beginning, I knew there was no chance, zero, you would give in so easily. Over the past few months, you two have pivoted, and then you pivoted, and then you pivoted again, all to make sure we could share with you this special day. And seeing the work that you put in to make this happen, Dad, I'm really proud to be your son. Brian, this is part of the speech where I might talk about my first impression of you or the first moment we met, what you wore that day, something funny you said. But if I'm being completely honest, I cannot remember. It was most likely sometime in 2015 or 2016, back when toilet paper was less valuable than gold and face masks were not a fashion statement. The truth is, you joined our lives, my life, so easily and so naturally that it feels like I've known you for a lifetime. You became a part of my family long before a legal document confirmed it. We've shared holidays, late night conversations, a few embarrassing memories, mostly on my part. And you've made myself and my father much better people along the way. My dad was not always the happiest person during my childhood. He was still a very caring, loving father. But from a young age, I could tell he was holding back an integral part of his identity. And today, he is no longer holding back that part. And I consider him to be happy because of it. And I consider our relationship to never have been stronger. And a lot of that I contribute to you, Brian. So thank you for that and for being there during some really tough times the past few years. So to the happy couple, this is not the wedding day you dreamed of, I'm sure of that. But in the most uncertain of times, it's nice to know that we can still have celebrations like this. We see two people who love each other take an important step in their lives in front of their friends and their families. And that makes me think that everything eventually will be okay. Congratulations to you both. I can't wait to give you each a huge hug, probably sometime in the year 2028. Both, and this is your day, so enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you so much. Thank you. For now, just briefly, before we close the ceremony, I want to let you know what's going to happen next. So Harry and Brian will bring out a wedding cake to cut and share, as well as some champagne. After the cake cutting and the champagne, we'll move from YouTube Live, where all of you out there are listening in listen-only mode. We'll move over to Zoom, where you can interact with the married couple. On Zoom, Harry and Brian will be there to greet you. Just like a real receiving line, only a few people can enter the Zoom room at one time to speak to the rooms. You'll be in a virtual waiting room until you can enter the Zoom room, so please be patient. You should have received the link for Zoom in an email, but you can also find it in the drop-down below the YouTube Live video that you're watching right now. So now with that piece of housekeeping out of the way, Brian and Harry, before your friends and family, you have declared your intentions to marry, to place at the forefront of your lives this love, fidelity, devotion, sacrifice, and family, which seals your lives together. You have shared vows and made promises to each other. Your community has promised to support you in this next phase of your life and relationship. By exchanging rings, you have made an external sign of this commitment. You will leave this ceremony together as a married couple. Brian and Harry, congratulations. You may kiss each other.
All right. So now we're gonna pivot to some champagne and some cake. Move this back.
All right. So,
Hang tight.
we can kind of let that come with it, I think. Let me untape this.
Okay.
All right.
We have champagne on the ready.
You want me to bring the cake over to this side?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's do this to see if we can get one hand in there.
Okay.
Ready?
All right.
1, 2.
Ooh, like butter. Okay, good. And one more. Cool.
So for those of you watching, this is the cutting cake we had planned. The whole wedding was intended to be gluten-free because of my nieces and my sister-in-law. So these are gluten-free cakes.
Let me serve you. Oops. Well, that's okay. Let's do this. And then. Beautiful. You want to feed each other a first bite or what?
Yeah.
Okay. No smushing. I hate the smushing. Stupid tradition.
Trying to get some good icing for you.
Yeah. All right. Oh.
Okay.
Mmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For later.
Sorry you're missing this.
Yes,
Oh
unfortunately.
my God. Mmm. That is so good. All right. Okay.
So I hope you all have something at home.
Invite you to raise a glass here.
I can do this without exploding this.
All right. Put the towel up on the cord. There you go.
Is that how the expert?
Yeah, so you don't pop an eye out. There you go.
There we go.
Okay. Hit me. Woo! Perfect.
Oops.
That's good luck, you know.
So maybe a toast, not just to this wedding, but to a speedy recovery of the planet and the crisis that we're under. And we're really grateful that we're able to have this unique day in this unique way.
Thank you for being here. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. Ooh.
I hope you guys have something at home besides coffee.
I think they do, most of them.
Okay.
Oh, sweet.
With that, we are going to end the YouTube Live. We'll pivot over to the Zoom meeting. As Hannah said, in the drop down below the video you're watching is the link for the Zoom meeting. It's also in the invite. It's also in the emails I plastered you with. So there's lots of ways to find it.
When I turn off YouTube Live, the description will still be there with the link to the Zoom room in it, okay? So we need a couple minutes to change over and we'll see you there, okay?
Thank you.